As we are getting set for heat number 4, event number 4, to kick off the final day of competition. But it's Gabby Magawa, who's sitting on top of the leaderboard, has yet to give up that first place position since she finished first last year at the European semifinals. Had herself a day yesterday, got past the rope climb event, and is now sitting on top of the leaderboard by just 3 points over her best friend and training partner and your 2023 Games champ, Laura Horvath. And we're kicking the day off in an exciting way. 40-meter row, 90-foot handstand walk, 600, 120-foot handstand walk, 800-meter row, and a 72-foot straight shot to the finish line. Lucy, we've seen 3 heats. What are these steps for Go Run?
Same, it's all in the row and keep the pace. We saw a blazing handstand walk pace from Andrea in that last round. So it'll be who can row faster than that and handstand walk just the same.
Your lane assignments, these are your top 10 athletes after 2 days of competition and 3 events. Down in lane number 9, Claudia Gluck had herself a day yesterday as she made the most moves on the leaderboard inside the top 10.
Yeah, you know, Gluck is another one, another ex-gymnast. So we're expecting good things on that handstand walk. She'll be definitely fighting to put herself into a better position coming into the last 2 events. Jenny
Muir had a little bit of a wild ride, top 5, bottom 30, top 5. Could we see another one for this event?
Well, Jen's an interesting one. She's great on a rower, so it'll be interesting to see how hard she can push a handstand walk with that row skill in the back pocket.
Stand by.
4th and final heat, individual event number 4, the first event of 3 events to close out the final day of competition underway. Win a CrossFit World Tour. Visiting CrossFit gyms around the globe. Create an account, scan the QR code, or visit hustleup-app.com to enter. That's all it takes. The drawing will take place on June 20th, 2024. Your 2023 CrossFit Games champ, Laura Horvath, sitting in 2nd place overall, just 3 points out of a first place position. Jenny Muir down in lane number 1. Adrian, we've watched 3 heats. It's getting faster every round. We didn't think it's possible, but after the 3rd one, it's like, can anybody take the time of 8:36 by Andrea Solberg?
Oh, I think it's going to happen. These women are out here fighting for these top spots. There's so many points on the board today. They all matter. And like we were talking about in the last heat, not only do you have a lot of opportunity to move up the leaderboard, but the inverse is also true. There is so much opportunity to make a mistake and find yourself outside of qualifying position that you have to take a chance. You got to go. And that's what this event is all about. Who can ride the line, not implode, but push the limits enough to end up with a top time.
And in the air, 100 meters left to go. Left to right, Amy Kringle off the rower first with Laura Horvath. Andrea Solberg was off in 1:35, but the speed at which she had on these handstand walks, no one has yet to match, but they still can make it on the row. But it's Laura Horvath who's leading the field.
And this is the thing as well, a big thing here will be accuracy. So making sure that you make no silly mistakes in terms of having fingers on the line or anything like that, and you getting called back and having those costly seconds.
Absolutely, and that turnaround is so critical as well. Not wasting time, getting right back to it. Those valuable seconds are going to add up through this event.
Laura Horvath is done, 2:03 in the clock. Andrea Solberg was at 2:02, so she's on pace. For more on Andrea Solberg's performance, let's go down to Lauren Smith.
Thanks, Chase. Yeah, I just spoke to her when she came off the floor, and you'd never believe it. She was a little bit disappointed in that performance. She said that she was wearing splits a couple of seconds off what she expected, and she puts it down to the front squats yesterday. And she said being so careful with her hands because of the standards of the line potentially eked away a couple of seconds as well. Just interesting looking at the heat. She thinks there's time still left out there.
And Bosser, we talked about this in the previous heat, but the speed and consistency that the handstand walks are there. With a 406, total of 1,800 meters of rowing. There is actually a lot of opportunities to make up time in this event.
Yeah, definitely, and you can play to your strengths a little bit, and I think we saw that with Andrea Solberg in the last heat, where, you know, maybe there were some athletes that had a little bit faster splits on the row, but she was so aggressive on that handstand walk that she could earn that time back and end up on top at the end of the heat.
The split time you're looking for Andrea Solberg. She was at 4 minutes and 30 seconds after the 600-meter row. GoWatt is the official mobility partner of the CrossFit Games. Take your mobility to the next level on GoWatt's personalized program and take advantage of the 14-day free trial to start your journey. 3 minutes and 30 seconds at 400 meters. Laura Horvath is rowing at a 1:45.
I would expect nothing less, Chase. That's how you do it.
That is going to be fast. I can't see many people comfortably holding that. It's going to be interesting to see what she can hold for that 800 as well if we come back to her and see, you know, what the drop-off is, if any.
Claudia Gluck just maintaining right underneath that 2-minute pace at about a 1:57. Gluck currently sitting in 8th overall. We're taking 10 athletes, and that is your gatekeeper, Linda Kieschmann, sitting in 10th place.
And that 10-second difference, that 10-second difference in pace that they're holding, that's 12 seconds coming off this erg. That is huge.
Laura Horvath.
Big difference.
Laura Horvath is 13 seconds ahead of the pace by Andrea Solberg.
On her own, too. Nobody else around. So impressive, and not showing any signs of the effect on her handstand walk. No problem.
120 feet on this handstand walk. 5 12-foot sections on the way down. 5 12-foot sections on the way back. Bottom left corner of your screen. Andrea Solberg, 8:36, the time to beat. Andrea was done with this walk at 5:05. 12 feet to go for Laura Horvath. 8 seconds ahead of the pace by Andrea Solberg.
Wow, I bet you she is not going to have a hard time maintaining that pace on the row either.
But that is all that difference in row pace, right? We saw Andrea was about 1:57, 1:45 from Laura. That is solely it, because Andrea, I would love to see a handstand walk race between Andrea and Laura, because honestly, I would give that to Andrea.
The leader in the heat, Laura Horvath, on the right side of your screen. Your reigning, defending CrossFit Games champion, Gabby Magawa. Your leader so far on the leaderboard on the left side of your screen. These are your top two, not in danger of missing the games, but it is Linda Kieschmann, who is trying to fend off Andrea Solberg, who's 9 points back. Linda Kieschmann out of CrossFit Vondelgem South out of the Netherlands. Never been to the CrossFit Games, but it's been so close the last 2 years.
Yeah, and the other thing is you've got obviously Jen Muir above her, and you can just see in the back of the screen, Jen is just coming onto the rower now. So Linda's going to be trying to hold off Andrea, but also chase down Jen in this last event, in last split.
Jen Muir sitting in 9th overall, 209 points. The leaderboard is so tight in spots 8 through 12. Just a handful of points, and remember, we have 300 points up for grabs, 3 events to close out the final day of competition. The time, 8:14, is when Andrea Solberg got off the last 800-meter row, and Laura Horvath is still holding a sub-150 pace.
Yeah, and that is so important. She's definitely making her moves on Andrea's time, all on that rower.
So impressive. You can start to see it on her face a little bit. That last shot, we can see some of the discomfort setting in, which, I mean, honestly, for an athlete that's as composed as Laura most of the time, that just gives you an indication of how hard she's pushing on this pace.
And she can afford to, right? Because she knows that she's got the shortest handstand walk coming up. So actually, she doesn't need to not necessarily not push the last handstand walk, but that level of fatigue is going to be less going through that bit.
Your leader in the heat, Laura Horvath, on the right side of your screen. And just look at the pace and comfortability, as you said, is between Laura Horvath and Jen Muir.
Wow,
Laura Horvath.
Hand just goes up for Laura right there, my goodness.
100 meters left to go. Gabby Magawa on the left, your leader overall after 3 events and 2 days of competition, but only by 3 points, and she has 100 meters left to go. 8:14, that's the split by Andrea Solberg.
Oh, and Laura just blew the doors off of that, 20 seconds ahead of Solberg's time on that row.
Laura Horvath, 72 feet between her and another event win this weekend.
And that handstand walk pace looks like it's dropped off quite a bit, but at the same time, she's built that buffer on the road, so she can afford to just keep moving on this.
Gabby Magawa behind her has an opportunity to beat Solberg. She was a couple seconds ahead of pace, but Laura Horvath, no problem. 100 points to start day number 3. Gabby Magawa, 6 seconds away. Can she get across the line to beat Solberg's time? To the finish mat, it'll be close. We'll have to check the official time.
Looks like she's going to do it from here, Chase.
Here comes Karin Freyova, left upper part of your screen. Karin in a top 10 position. She'll get across the finish line. Solberg's time will stand. Amy Kringle trying to hold up Linda Kiesman.
This is huge for Linda. Come on.
Linda Kiesman, your 10th place overall. Solid finish for her. As Emma Tall gets across the finish line, and Claudia Gluck at the bottom part of your screen is making her way across. Now we are approaching the dangerous times. About 20 athletes between that 8:45 and 9:30 mark.
Chase, this is not a great result for Jenny Muir hanging on that bubble spot. I think after the points settle from this event, she may be looking on the outside for the next 2 events.
Emma McQuaid in the top in lane 2 in the all black is trying to hold up Jacqueline Dahlstrom. As Jacqueline Dahlstrom is trying to close out on Emma McQuaid, and McQuaid will finish. Dahlstrom just behind her, and as you said, boss, Jenny Muir sitting in 9th place is gonna take 10th in this heat, and there's a lot of times between her and those top times. So Andrea Solberg, though she didn't get the event win, may see herself vaulted into the top 10. Laura Horvath, end to end, start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as we said, it was all on that road pace. Just being able to hold that like 145 to 150 pace, that over the course of that, you know, 7 minutes that you spend on the rower in this workout had that massive impact versus Andrea Solberg's handstand walk pace, which was arguably faster. But here you spend the majority of the time on that rower, and ultimately that's a deciding factor.
Laura Horvath with another event win on the weekend as Gabby Magawa, training partner, best friend, celebrates her. Going 1-2. They're 1-2 on the leaderboard. Since they're going back and forth, let's talk to both of them. Gabby Magawa and Laura Horvath down with Lauren Smith.
Cheers, Chase. Gabby, you came in today leading the overall standings, but there's so much points up for